Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to heal your gut, the basics. So I'll start off by going over my gut issues and breaking down how I healed them and things you can do. So the first thing to do is get rid of all fast foods and processed foods and focus on whole foods. So for me, before I was dealing with my gut issues, I was really heavy on drinking alcohol and eating a lot of fast food and processed foods, mainly because at the time I had two jobs, was working heavily, and didn't really have the time to focus on a clean diet. And to be completely honest, I kind of loved just working in a fast-paced environment and being able to go out, drink, and doing things like that. But in the long run, that damaged my body so much. So after that, doing that step, which is, I think, the most important, I think it's also super important to get gut testing. Typically, the test that I recommend is the GI map test. That's one that I got in the beginning of my healing journey, and it told me a lot. So I dealt specifically with gastritis, and I was able to find out what was causing my gastritis through the GI map test. One thing that doctors or gastroenterologists will tell you is that, oh, a lot of things look normal because they're doing the standard basic tests, right? They're not looking into your gut bacteria if there's any imbalances there. So that's why I highly recommend getting the GI map test, because it will tell you all of that. And then from there, you can figure out a healing plan. And you can do this with whoever gets the GI map test for you, and that's typically a nutritionist. If you can't afford gut testing, then you can start off with just using super basic supplements. So the ones I recommend, and I'll have a video about this, are L-glutamine powder. The specific L-glutamine powder is GI Resolve. That is one of my favorite supplements for healing your gut, especially your gut lining. It has L-glutamine in it, aloe vera, okra, all these very soothing ingredients. And it is a little bit pricier. It's about $60, but it does last you a long time. And it is well worth it. I use it still when I have flare-ups, specifically for acid reflux flare-ups, and it works perfectly. Something else I'd recommend that's super basic is a digestive enzyme. So when you're dealing with severe bloat and trying to heal your gut, you're gonna want something that's gonna help you break down your food. For a long time, in the beginning of my healing journey, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna use digestive enzymes. It doesn't matter, but it does. And you need to give your gut some rest so it can heal. So highly recommend using a good digestive enzyme. I have a few recommendations that I'll put in the comments for beginners. So something else that I'll recommend is digestive bitters. So I love those, still use those till this day. One thing I will say though is if you have gastritis or acid reflux, stay away from these until you get that under control, because the last thing you want to do is trigger more acid, damage your lining, anything like that. But bitters basically help you, your digestive juices, get them going. It helps you break down food. And again, it just helps you get your stomach back together so you can digest properly. I have a few bitters that I love and stand by that I'll put in the comments that you guys can use too. Basically what you do, you put a whole dropper fill of the bitters in a cup of water, drink it 30 minutes before your meal, and it'll help you digest your food. So the last thing I'm going to touch base on in today's video is stress and trauma. So a lot of the times, anxiety, all of that is stored in our body, and I feel like a lot of the time it's stored in our gut. Like anytime I would have a flare-up, it was due to anxiety or stress from work. And one thing I always recommend is getting that under control, because that is another thing that's destroying your gut and your stomach. So if you are stressed out at work all the time, it's going to affect that. If you're anxious, it's going to affect that. So I definitely recommend adding things like breath work into your routine, meditating, working out. Those things will help you reduce your stress and anxiety and also help you manage them, which in turns will help you heal faster. I know all of us, we want to instantly heal. And as you know, that doesn't happen. But by doing some of these things, it can help speed up the process. And I'll be creating more in detailed videos just going through my journey and other things you can do to help heal your gut. Stay tuned and let me know if there's anything else you want me to touch base on.